Hello, I'm Sharon Ayers, and I made this pepper mill today. And last year at SWAT, I bought this ambrosia maple blank, and it was wet. And so today I thought, I don't really have much to bring to the gallery at SWAT, so I thought I'd make me a pepper mill. So it turned out pretty good. It was still a little damp after a year sitting in my shop. And I bought some bottle openers and made some with deer antler. They're dangerous? Oh, well, maybe after a few drinks they might. And then one out of cedar, and then another with just dyed wood. Thank you. This finish is Hampshire sheen and the doctor's polish that you can get here at Woodworld.
These are my boxes. I like to turn boxes. And okay. These two are turned out of, this is maple and ambrosia maple, and this is turned out of the same thing. And this one was going to be a bowl. Then I looked at this figures here, and I went, oh, I like that. I don't think I want to make a bowl out of it. So I decided to turn it into a vessel. But then the opening was too big, and I went, well, I can just turn it into a box. So then I went, oh dear, I have to make a lid. So I dug around in my trash, and I found a little piece that I thought might work, and I had to glue it to another piece, and then I turned it, and it didn't match up. So I went in and I did a little dye job on it so it would match up. And then when I turned it, I went, oh, there's a little wormhole down there. And then I forgot, because all these wormholes started turning up. None of you smart guys have ever done that, have you? Where is the camera? Oh. Oh, okay, sure. Oh, right there, okay. See? Okay. None of you have done that, have you? Okay. Well, I went, oh. And I said, I'm not losing that, so I just went ahead and did it and decorated it.
I've always been taught that you never ever tell anybody what you're intending to do until it's completely done, it's finished, and it's sitting on the shelf. I'm Jim McCleskey, and after a while of experimenting with inlaying stone into rings and stuff like that I've showed y'all, I decided, well, why not try putting some of the stone into cracks in bowls and that sort of thing. And so I did that. And then I originally got this as a box full of individual parts. And research would indicate that it's probably from the late 1800s or early 1900s. And there was originally all of these little pieces everywhere were all just parts in a box. And there were at least two, and we suspect maybe three different kinds of wood between this and the top and this centerpiece. But then I added two more types of wood because I had to make this centerpiece and this plate here. And when I decided I wanted to do that, I first of all consulted with our own Brian Evans, and I really appreciate his help. And then I also want to thank people here at Wood World and at Woodcraft and at Hardwood Lumber over close to Simmons Freeway for supplying the wood and helping me figure out what kind of wood to get for all of them. And I set out trying to match everything, and then because of all the different woods and how old they were and all the crazy finishes that had been used on this thing, I gave up. And I said, okay, I'm just going to accept whatever it'll give me. And so that's what I did. And I still have a whole bunch of work to do on it, like the top and the claw feet and all of that. But I put it together and glued it up this afternoon because I needed to bring it to show you all tonight, because I'm going to have to give it back to its rightful owner on Labor Day, so it won't be around anymore. So there you have it. Oh, and for anybody that doesn't recognize it, it's a piano stool, and it raises and lowers when you spin the top.
Bowl that I've been working on with a finishing technique that I learned from the big guy at Woodcraft. My name's Bob, Bahama Bob, and it's using System 3 spar varnish with pantyhose. So it's kind of funny to go in Target and look for pantyhose, but because you want the right size or whatever. So. And this is about 20 coats. This is my 28 Beads of Courage box. And Lou can teach you anything about segmented bowls if you want to know. I've had a good time working on them. I'm going to be teaching this technique at the ladies' class next month or whatever. But spin that around a little bit. This is a piece that I've been working on that actually, does anybody in the green bowl there? He was working on this piece, and I was able to buy it from his wife. And I finished it. Now I have to go back to its right home. So I'm working on that.
Well, I apologize for this not being very artsy. I need to get Sharon to paint something on it. I made this because I don't have a lot of room around my lathe, and it just holds your tools and tool rest, and these ends here will hold. I've got a Vicmar and also a Stronghold chuck, and it will drop your keys in there. And this will hold all the tailstock center and stuff. If you lay it on a table or whatever, it works that way, but I made a key. One side's wide to fit my big lathe, and if you turn it, well, this is for the big lathe, and you turn it over this way, fits my MIDI lathe. And this, if you're sitting on a table or anything, just pull this out. If you need a long thread on a knob, buy the knob that's the nut, grind some squares on it, and put Loctite on it, screw it in, and put epoxy around it, and you can make it 3 feet long if you need it.
Johnny Hare is my name. I had some scraps left over from another project, and I don't know what to do with it, so I made a little kind of like a flying saucer thing. Went to Hobby Lobby and got a little, it's really a jewel thing, just dropped it in there and to look like the dome, kind of. And it's just full of wires and LEDs and stuff in there. And I had to buy a special switch that's normally on. So it's off when you set it down. It's on when you pick it up. So, and that's some cherry that I call it netting. I don't know what, anyway, it's from Tibbetts. I copied one of his things. And I've never made anything so, of course this would be easy for you, but I never made anything so tiny, where I was like, it had to be 1/10 of an inch or something to start doing all that. And I was sweating bullets making those things. There's 2 bowls, and you make them with a hollow, no ends, no tops or bottoms, and they got to be exactly 45 degrees. And then you cut them in half and bend them around. And this is another design that I kind of copied from somebody or another on the internet. And it's not, I think it's a spittoon, because it's not a bowl. That's not the lid. You got to be a good shot. That's the problem. I know I've already been chastised for that already. So, but if you miss, you hit this nice, pretty top. So, and it's Paduke and ash and Wingate. Is that what you said? Wingate. And the hardest part was. Little star that I also copied somebody. So,
it's koa. It's just a hollow form that's turned and carved and set on fire. I don't do delicate, beautiful work like she does, unfortunately. I'm more of a torch guy. I would say this, most pieces that I do that have burning on them like that, because I got mad at them. Jimmy Arledge isn't here, but this is... Jimmy says when something goes wrong, it's just an opportunity for design. So I'd made a spiral finial that was an open spiral, and somebody dropped it on its head and it shattered into pieces. And so this is actually a shard. I made this finial out of that spiral. So, there's always something. So it's just a little box. And I think the wood is Mexican plum, but I won't swear to it. It looks like it to me. And so the finial took a lot of engineering. All right, it's Mexican plum. Since who's going to dispute me in here, right? Thank you.
Hello, I'm Corey White, and I brought 2 pieces tonight. This is sort of a simple bowl design, hickory, and I've been working on doing some embellishing with wire burning. I've got a set of old guitar strings that have different size diameter, and so I've been doing some wood burning, wood with the wire burning, with embellishing that way. And this is another one I did. I haven't seen many things out of Bradford pear, and this is a piece of Bradford pear that came from our neighborhood. The tree went down, and was delightfully surprised and pleased how it finished. It did a lot of cracking initially, but I rough turned this wet and that seemed to make a big difference. The other pieces that I haven't rough turned yet have done a lot of cracking, but we'll see how bad those have turned out. I'm not sure. But anyway, and I did some wood wire burning along the rim there as embellishment too. To wipe on poly. Thank you.
Yes, sir. This is the first attempt at inlay, turquoise inlay, and it's a serious task in failure and success, and do that over and do that over. And I've initially tried to inlay with epoxy, and I found out that you cannot do that because it fills up all the voids, and then you can't fill the smaller voids with smaller pieces of turquoise. And the jewelry maker told me that this Kingman mine is the most sought after turquoise, and the more silver oriented Sleeping Beauty is the less desirable. So just kind of pick your poison, see which one you like. And that's why I've got both on one place. I've got Kingman on the outside and the Sleeping Beauty on the inside. And I know this looks a little like a chamber pot, but that's just how it turned out while I was throwing dust and making chips. And they're both exercises in finish, because I tried to use the Hut brown wax, and it just didn't fill all the voids and all the chips and stuff that you find in rotten wood or spalted wood. So now this is a third layer of lacquer, and I'm going to sand it another 6 or 7 times and put another 6 or 7 coats and see if I can fill in the pin marks. This is even more of a problem than the smaller ones, because I had to spin the head of the lathe around in order to spin this much diameter. And when I did that, I didn't have a tool rest. So you have to rest the tools on whatever's handy, your arms, your elbows. And so it's not flat, and it's not round, and it's not square, but it is a tray. And again, I learned about just it had edge chips and wormholes. The back isn't actually finished even as well as the front, but it's a work in progress. So, you know, a few more hours with sandpaper, it'll be presentable. Thank you. It's an elm. I think my son's tree died in his yard about 5 years ago. So we cut the tree down, and I bucked up a bunch of it in 2-inch slabs and put it in my attic for 3 years, and this is a result of that. So those other two are as well. So it's just salvaging something.
Okay, it's 7:32. If you guys can do it in 8.